This is what the Olympic gold medalist Carl Hester has to say on Team NAF.
My job in all of this, of course, is to be able to say to the experts, you know, this is what I feel the horse is doing, this is what I would like it to look like, what do you suggest? And I'm lucky to be able to have somebody that I can ask those questions to, because of course they are the experts, they're the people that I have to put my trust in, and the horses. You know, we want to ride on teams, we have to think of safe sport, we know that NAF leads the way in that. I have this really wonderful relationship that I feel is trustworthy, I can ask what I like, and at the end of the day it's how our horses look. And I mean, I think we could safely say that, you know, when you look at the type of horses we have and the covering of muscle and condition that they're in, that things are really working well for us.
It's time to play Eventing Manager. Compete against your friends for your country and win prizes using the fantasy football-styled Eventing Manager game. It is free to download in your App Store or on Google Play, and you can play along with eventing fans all over the world in picking your dream team. Pick carefully though, your $10 million budget sounds big, but you'll want to spend it carefully. Or if you prefer, you can let the computer do the picking for you. Once you've selected your team, then don't forget to check out the featured leagues to be in with a chance of winning some amazing prizes. For more information, go to www.equiratings.com. Oh God, it's so exciting. Happy Hail Bob Day.
It is a happy Hail Bob Day.
Hello, the curse of Dam.
It's the best finishing score we've seen at 5-star level.
That was our elo coming into the competition.
How much he talks about an FOD and how much it means.
Best show that we have, Alphabetti Spaghetti.
Eventing Manager is back. Let's restore order.
Looking forward to seeing quality horses.
Still a great day for Ireland.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
I mean, you're a bit of an eventing geek just like us.
The EquiRatings Eventing Podcast. Welcome to the EquiRatings Eventing Podcast, and listeners, you are ringside at the NAF 5-star Hartpury International Horse Trial. So if you can hear plenty of action going on behind us, that is because the place is buzzing. Dressage has just finished. The man sat to my right-hand side is Spike the vet.
Nicole, good afternoon. How are you?
The man sat to my left-hand side is baby Spike the vet.
Yeah, Percy might be contributing as well. He's been watching the dressage too.
He's got some good stuff to say.
He was very taken with a particular canter to trot transition.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Getting his eye in early?
Very much so.
Okay. Right, let's talk dressage. So, 4-star dressage, and it is Nicola Wilson, JL Dublin, who lead the way. Now, this was actually the horse's best ever international dressage test, 23.9. It feels like he has come out since Bicton, or come out this year, and he's always been an exceptional jumper, but actually getting those scores in the first phase as well are going to make him extremely dangerous. That is a big test.
Yeah, we watched it, didn't we, Nicole? And he looked super. I think in some ways maybe not quite as polished as the Bicton test, but he was rewarded for what he did really well, and he's just the most stunning looking animal. He is strong, really well balanced, was calm, and he just gave everything for Nicola in the ring, and it was great. And really delighted for her that she's got such a strong horse coming through. And I think they've got to be a big shout for the Europeans. I think he's a lovely horse, and he's hopefully going to be a team horse for the years to come. And hopefully he can finish it off by doing the job tomorrow. He should jump clear, but he should show jump clear. And he's a fast horse cross country, so he starts in first, and I'm sure she'll hope that he can stay there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the show jumping here does cause its fair share of trouble. You've got to show jump clear. No winner of the 4-star short since 2008 has ever rolled a pole, so it does really play its part as well, and she would really fancy her chances going forward. Pippa Funnell has also been on exceptional form. She actually has 2 inside the top 10. Billy Walk-On in second, 24.0. MGH Grafton Street in 4th, so it's 2 in the top 4.
And Maya's hoping
8.
in the top 10.
3 in the top 10, there you go. But Billy Walk-On 24.0, and actually that is inside the top 10 best ever 4-star tests we've seen at Hartpury. alongside JL Dublin, Nicola Wilson. They both just sneak in there 9th and 10th on that leaderboard. Kitty's record still remains with Sailor Lamb, that was a few years ago now, but she's well placed with Vondre Biats as well. We'll come on to her. Let's talk about Pippa for a second. 3 in the top 10, all 3 very, very good horses. And actually, again, Maya's Hope is the one that catches my eye, because that is a huge test for this horse.
Feels like a PB for the horse at this level.
It's got to be. I'll double check, but it's got to be.
It's a really good, strong step forward. Initially longlisted for the Olympics, where they had a little setback in the spring. That changed, but went to the Europeans for us, and I'm sure she'll be absolutely delighted with that test. And I think I said in the preview pod, Pippa's just like an icon for the sport. She is just the most wonderful person. She's so humble. She's so down to earth. And she's so great at supporting her colleagues and young riders and all the people that have come through the Billy Stud, her work with the Windrush Foundation. So it's brilliant to see her being successful, and the horses look great today. Watched MGH Grafton Street's test, solid, strong test, not flashy, but just a solid job.
Yeah, it really did the job. And sometimes that's what you've got to do. You've got to do a clear round in the dressage and not make any mistakes and give any marks away. And she really, really produces her tests beautifully. One horse I was really looking forward to seeing, and I was actually course walking, so I missed their test, which I was gutted about. But Karue, Sarah Bullimore, they had a big ask to back up that superb performance that they put in at Bergam last time out, where they broke into the sub-20 territory. They were 19.6 there. It was Sarah's best ever international dressage score from 240 international tests. And you felt a little bit like she needed to come out here and sort of back that up. And she absolutely did. 24.2 sees her in 3rd. And another that you actually think will be saying, hey, selectors, come and look at me. And she's been knocking on that door for a long time.
I think it's another horse as well that's been really interesting coming out of lockdown, and how the horse has kind of needed the runs to develop a little bit, and that confidence as a partnership has really grown, and they're getting those scores consistently low and under 25, and even lower than that. Her wonderful score at Bergam only 2 weeks ago. So it's that horse has really come on, and she must be delighted with that. And I think probably in the same style as JL Dublin. I think there's a lot of work's gone on behind the scenes, and often we see it when they're out competing regularly. But the fact that we had such a hiatus through COVID, I think that a lot of those horses' developments have been behind the scenes, and now we're really seeing the fruits of all that work that they've been doing with their training, and it's lovely to see.
Yeah, and do you know what? That horse is a mega jumper. He is very cool. He's not over big.
He's tiny.
He's like 15.2 or something, but he's out of Lily Corinne by Ballade de Rouet, who also sires Rev de Rouet, who is her big 5-star horse, and he's just a really cool little horse. She was delighted with him at Bergam. I think losing out on the win will hurt. With the pole down in the show jumping, it was uncharacteristic. I think she'll be out to prove something this weekend. Kitty Vondre Biats, 24.9. She's in 5th, well placed, and again another that is just consistent.
Again, they're always so consistent, there or thereabouts. I think she would love to find herself in the position where he would just be a couple of marks better and be out front, rather than sort of chasing the 8 ball a little bit. But you can't fault this horse's record in the last 12 months. Can't really fault the horse this year. And again, Kitty's such a perfectionist. I never know whether she'll be pleased with the test, but I think she should be. And he's an amazing show jumper. Touch wood, he really shouldn't be having a pole. And again, it'll be how tricky that time is. And it will be, I think.
Yeah, I think it really will be. We've been out on the course. We'll actually talk about that in a second. But other highlights in the dressage, I'd say Oliver Townend, Da Vinci in 6th, taking the ride for Sam Ekroyd, who's on the sidelines after that really nasty fall. And actually that is one of the best show jumpers in the field, so look out for them, particularly in the show jumping phase. Gemma and Chili Knight, very well placed inside the top 10.
She'll be delighted with that, won't she?
Really delighted.
A breakthrough score. He's always been in and around that kind of 30 mark, and when you suddenly start getting into the high 20s, that's real ammunition for her. He's a very fast horse, generally a good show jumper, and you're getting into that finishing score 27-28 where you can really do some damage and be at the sharp end for the results. So I'm sure she'll be delighted.
He's a super cool little cross-country horse. He will be absolutely flying over Eric Winter's cross-country tack, I've no doubt, and I believe there might be a certain big event on his horizon that this will be a prep for. Okay, any others? Shadow Man, Ben Hobday just outside the top 10. Tina Cook has Mexican Law actually, just ahead of Billy the Red. Did do a solid test, isn't inside the...
Yep,
is inside the top 10. It is in 9th, yeah.
Again, super jumper. There's some strong jumpers at the front end of the field. You know, I think that most of the top 10 would be disappointed if they had a pole. So it may not be a particularly different lineup heading into the cross country, and it's a tough track out there, and I think the time will be tight. I was just speaking to Caroline Moore earlier. I hear they've taken 15 seconds off the time, so I think it's 7 minutes now. So I think it's going to be even harder. So I'll be amazed if anything gets near the time. But you know,
that feels quite bold, doesn't it? That's exciting. I would say that Alex Bragg and Zagreb might be a little bit disappointed. Alex gave a really, really good interview and was very sort of candid, and you know, the horse, it hasn't had a huge amount of big runs this year and was feeling quite fresh, but he sits on a 31.3, so just outside the top 25 as things stand at the moment. But Zara Tyndall, actually, class of fair, I think we mentioned her on the preview show as well, inside the top 30. Anybody else that stands out for you before we talk jumping?
I thought Caroline Harris and Falco TH getting sub 30. I think she'd be very pleased with that. Caroline's a super rider and probably doesn't get enough mentions, and I think that's great, and I'm really pleased for her. And I was also going to highlight Greta Mason with Cooley for Sure, just outside the top 20. Another very good young British rider, did a 30.7, so again, another strong dressage there.
Let me ask you about the cross country. We went out and walked the course earlier. We said it on the preview show, we'll say it again, the time is tight here. 10 people have made it in the last 5 runnings. The ground looks superb though. Yeah,
ground looks amazing. We were out walking the course, and we were there whilst there was the people out there doing research and taking readings for that, because that's something that we all take very seriously from the sort of administrative side of events, to try and make sure that the ground is at its best, and you can only do that once you start collecting data and analysing it. But they were saying that it's lovely grounds, even on the soft side are good, and there's some softer places, and that's lovely to be here in August on really safe ground that these riders can be confident to attack and feel that it's at the best for their horses. And I think that means that we're going to get a good competition, and it means hopefully we won't get too many withdrawals, and it also just means that we'll have everyone gunning for it tomorrow.
Yeah, I absolutely think we will. I was interested with the cross country. There's some real questions, and there's some parts of the course that will take up quite a bit of time. Eric Winter's been quite clever. I look at a lot of his fences, and they're, replicas of the level down from what you see him produce at Badminton. There's a bullfinch in there that caused so much discussion when there was one at Badminton a few years ago.
Yeah, and I think actually when you walk the course and you see the 2-star, the 3-star and the 4-star alongside, you can really see at the start of how he designs it, and how each of them is a progression onto the next level for the riders. And I think that actually walking it, I thought the 3-star is very strong here. That's going to be an interesting track to follow. I think the second water is tough, potentially tougher than what the 4-star is being asked, but we'll see. But I think the 3, anything going well in the 3-star here, will know they're definitely ready for 4-star.
Yeah, you say tough, I say bloomin' tough. I was going around going, oh, this 3-star's big. This 3-star's big. Let's talk about the 3-star for a second. So Piggy March leads with Cooley Lancer. It was the horse's best ever international dressage test. And do you know what? There's been a lot of hype around this horse. We've been watching him come up the levels over the last couple of years. 23.1. Out in front ahead of Giovanni Ugolotti, Swirly Temptress. And actually Joe said that if he is still up there tomorrow night, he will come on the show. Yeah, there we go.
Lovely mare, very good dressage horse, and I'm sure will go well tomorrow. Liable to a pole, so he'll be really chuffed if he's gone well tomorrow, and that's why he'll be on the pod. In third is Highlight K with Mark Davison, who's a great rider, and I think he's based at Piggy's yard, and they went very well at I was going to say Osberton, but it was Thorsby at the end of last year, very competitive, and that's another lovely horse. So another good combination sitting in the top 3.
There's some really, really nice horses in the 3-star. If you're watching the live stream, look out for it, because there's some really, really talented horses. And as we say, we think it's going to be a tough enough cross-country track, so it's one to watch. In the 2-star, it is Sammy Birch Utopia who lead 26.6. I think that is a really exciting horse for the future for Sammy and for Australia, because she felt that there was definitely even more that they could have got. A couple of mistakes in there, and yet they still lead the way. Ahead of
Lovely
Sarah
mare.
Bullimore.
We were sat with the horse's owner earlier, and she's nervous for the track tomorrow. But wishing Sammy all the best for tomorrow.
It's hard, isn't it? Sitting on the sidelines. It's much harder. Sarah Bullimore as well placed in there. Avita AP in 2nd in the 2-star. And Molly Summerland actually has Flow in 3rd at the moment. So they're in the podium position. One that I would say watch out for in the 2-star, she's got a couple of rides, is Ibble Watson, who has... had that really, really good form. She's got 2 inside the top 12. Candito, who's currently in 4th, and Aristoteles, who is just in 12th at the moment. She's a really talented young rider. It's come up through the pony system and is one sure to make her mark. So, Spike.
I love the way we've got you champion British youth, Nicole.
British youth. Anybody would think I was sat next to the man who champions British youth.
You just steal the words right out of my mouth.
I know. We're on the same wavelength. There we go. Look, listeners, we hope you've enjoyed a little bit of behind the scenes at Hartpury. We hope it hasn't been too noisy for you. It is very atmospheric actually here. It's lovely weather. It's blue sky. We're overlooking the main arena. I've got a Pimm's in hand, Spike.
There's definitely no riders drinking beer. I can't
Absolutely
see any.
not. Can't see any. None. They're all back up, tucked up in bed, ready for cross-country tomorrow. To the core. Listeners, we hope that you will enjoy all of the action tomorrow. It will be available on the live stream. Tune in and follow Hartpury Equine Events on social media, at NAF, of course, as well. Very, very kindly supporting these shows, but also the title sponsors of Hartpury International Horse Trials. And we'll be back with more tomorrow. Spike, thank you. You're going to go home and put your baby to bed.
I am, but I'll be back tomorrow for a bit of cross-country action.
See you tomorrow. There we go. Listeners, thank you very much for listening, and tune in for more tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the Aqua Ratings Eventing podcast.
Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I look forward to having you back with us soon.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more.
Listeners, we'll speak to you again soon.